all the way to arrive at an air show side. That was absolutely stunning, and a new clearance for 2014.
Yeah, absolutely. Some shows he's not able to do it, so this is the first show this season that Chris has been able to do it, and as he topped out of that loop on the B axis, he would have hit about 3,500 feet.
Now this is a mighty machine, the last of the really big, heavy propeller aircraft that took off from our carriers. I mean, an incredible history to this machine.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the only piston-engined fighter that's actually shot down a jet. A flight of 4 Sea Furies in the Korean War, where
built as weapons trainers for the Fleet Air Arm and delivered to the Royal Navy in the early 1950s, serving with 736 Naval Air Squadron and then 738 Naval Air Squadron at Royal Naval Air Station Copdrose, conducting pilot training for the frontline Sea Fury units. Smiling when he's flying this aircraft, and what a great job he's got. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris is the commanding officer of Royal Navy Historic Flights, who has the privilege of being the custodian of all these aircraft, and also keeping the pilots in check as well, and making sure that we don't get up to too much mischief.
But he's the only full-time man. Presumably somebody like yourself, you're doing other jobs during the week?
Yeah, absolutely. Chris is the only full-time officer on Royal Navy Historic Flights. The rest of us are all volunteers, and we fly on
Yeah, well, we're going to get back to that a little later on. Now, like all of World Woods, they have a really checkered history. Some of them go into school, and this one's no different. It's had an accident in 1950 and saw, was repaired and sold on to the West German government in 1960, and so it's a used as a target towing aircraft. Retired, bought again, sold, bought again, and extraordinary how they've survived so long. But eventually purchased and shipped back to the UK in 2007.
On some aircraft, that's the whistling sound when the radiators or the gun ports on the Sea Fury. It's called the supercharger that you hear whining.
Yeah, but I also noticed you had a panel off as well today. So there could be a bit of extra noise there as well. But yeah, no, they all have their distinctive sounds, the Mustang and of course the Hunter as well. All their variations of superchargers or the gun ports or something like that. Each one very, very distinctive. So Chris now repositioning again on the left-hand side. He's got a busy day ahead of him as well. But anyway, eyes peeled now for another superb pass on this terrific aircraft. At the time the Royal Navy were also looking at jet aircraft operations as well. But during that gap specified a naval variant of the Fury. The standard armament consisted of 4 20mm cannons. Sad that as a result of technical issues that C5 cannot be with us today. Now one of the things that's interesting about this is that I understand that you can employ rocket system to take off the gear, which sounds a pretty exciting way to get off the ground.
Yeah, they put little clusters of 2 to 3 rockets on the sea-cruise, 3 rockets either side. It's usually used as the catapult gear on the flight deck of the carrier field, particularly in Korea when they're trying to get off with heavy rocket or bomb loads to do their operational sorties over Korea. And they used to basically get the power on, hit the button, and the rocket system take off here, give you that extra kick to get it off the deck and operate properly.
Well, one of the things we are featuring here at the Yeovilton Air Day this year is, of course, the whole theme of carrier-borne aviation. And you may not have noticed, but there's a grass sort of cutout, or rather a grass marking, featuring the Queen Elizabeth class carriers. And if you find it and walk around it, you will be amazed how big it is. Guzzling 183 gallons out of a full fuel load in about 2 hours. Very talented pilot Chris Gotcha, and I suspect there's a very good future ahead of him with the developments in naval aviation, and I think he's just into the standard practice, whatever you've got, hats, coats, umbrellas, yes, boys and girls. The pilots can see you, so always kind of you. Whatever we can do to keep them alive is just a wonderful thing. And also, not just to enjoy seeing them flying, but it does help us remember and commemorate those amazing wartime stories and the courage and bravery of the pilots in those days. So, as he puts us safely back on the ground then, another little wave would, I know, go down extremely well. Well done.